Hey, Steve, how you doing today?
Doing pretty good, Eddie. How you doing?
Awesome, doing great as well. Today, we are going to talk about your managed SDR teams based in the USA so that buyers viewing this service in the Cloutos marketplace can decide whether they want to invite you to an interview for their service request or not. I have three questions to ask you, Steve, so let's get started. Number one is going to be, what are the
Go for it.
components of this service offer?
Well, this is a managed SDR service, so it's an extension of a traditional SDR team. However, the agents are based in the US, so they are seasoned pros with lots of experience who are based in the US, predominantly reaching out to US based prospects and companies. With
Wonderful.
regards to the components of the service, it's a fully managed SDR team. So we're talking from playbook creation right the way through to booking the meetings and getting them qualified in our clients' calendars.
Perfect. This service, how many leads do you typically include when you're generating the lead list?
It's going to depend on the customer, but it can be anywhere from 500 to 5,000, depending on the breadth of the TAM and the scope of what the client's looking to achieve. But we're looking for a minimum of 500 potential prospects or accounts to go after, ranging up to about 5,000 to make it a success.
Wonderful. And what platforms do you provide or use to deliver this service offer?
Well, we're predominantly a phone house, so we're phone led. But in order to create the data list, we've got a number of paid data providers like Cognism, which is one of the market leaders, Lucia. We have our internal database as well of over 5 million records that will create the lead lists that we've spoken about. And then our internal tech stack is Power Dialer, email automation, Sales Navigator. And then we have teams behind that, content creation teams, cadence creation teams, and data analysts who scrape trigger data for us in order to build up the campaign. That's then driven by the SDR who will go out phone led and speak to your prospects on your behalf.
Perfect. Now, my next question is, what is normally the situation when you sign up clients for this service offer rather than another one in your portfolio? Because I noticed you have multiple services, Steve.
Sure. I mean, historically, what we found is a US based company who has a potentially high ACV offer and a high average contract value, and the value props may be technical, or it requires the agent to have local knowledge or at least knowledge of the geo and be able to speak to the prospects in the local dialogue. Then it's usually suitable for them. I mean, a lot of clients can look at nearshore or they can look at US based nationals, and we find that if it's a technical offering or something with a long sales cycle or a high ACV, or we're actually going into a C-suite or a founder of an organization or a high-level conversation, what requires more discovery or a greater in-depth conversation, they're going to go for a US-based national SDR team.
Wonderful. And my last question for you, Steve, is what can a client normally expect in the first 120 days of buying this service? What is included in the service?
Sure. I mean, the first 30 days is generally ramp, and during that time, we're going to select the SDR. We're going to build out the playbook. There'll be a number of initial meetings with all the stakeholders on the account to meet the CS manager aligned. As I mentioned, it's an SDR team, so speak to the SDR, find out what level of reporting they want, what success looks like to the client internally, build out the dashboards and the KPI metrics to mirror that. There'll be a number of enablement calls with the SDR so we can understand the client's value prop. Based on that, we're going to build out the scripting, the TAM, the key accounts, the cadences, the copy, and the sequences. And then after that, from week 3 on, we're going to start delivering, and we're going to hope to see meetings in the diary by week 4. From then on, we're going to A/B test the messaging in the first weeks of the next months to make sure we're on point where we need to be, and we're having the initial early indicators of success. We're going to find out that based on our weekly meetings you're going to have with your CS manager and the analytics you're going to get from your dashboard moving forward.
Wonderful. Steve, thank you so much for providing more details about your managed SDR teams based in the USA so that buyers viewing this service offer in the Cloud's marketplace can decide whether they want to invite you to an interview for their service request or not. Steve, thank you so much. I'll catch you on the next one.
Thanks for your time.